Hi, my name is Trevi.
And I'm Kate.
And welcome back to our podcast called 6 Feet Above. Ah! Okay, we have
Oh my God.
fucking Queen of Pop, owns the color purple. Well, maybe she retired it.
Yeah.
She
It was stolen
writes
from
some,
me.
She what?
It was stolen from me.
Who took it?
The other Olivia.
Oh.
I'm joking,
No,
but
we
she
love
did make
her.
purple her thing. So
Well,
Could be both.
no, it's okay. We've moved on.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
I know we've been trying to get you on here for like what seems like millennia.
Yeah,
But-
and then you just never reached out.
Whoa.
Whoa.
No,
'cause I
it's
heard you
honestly
did.
true. It's half true because
Okay.
we did, and then we were talking about it, and then I went off to do God knows what, and then we gave up on gas.
Yeah, we
for
did.
like
for like a full year.
yeah,
Just didn't feel right.
Not kidding. We had like 2 guests on, and we were like, okay, this is like really anxietizing,
Yeah.
and like even having you here right now is a little bit anxietizing.
Anxietizing, I like that
Yeah,
word.
I don't even know if that's like
It's-
Merriam-Webster at
It's
all.
perfect.
It is anxiety. How do you feel being on a podcast?
Me?
Yeah.
I love podcasts.
Okay, so
I
you're
will-
not anxietized right now?
No, well, not
Okay.
not right now. I'm on Zoloft, so I'm like
Thank
really
God.
Actively
Yeah.
on Zoloft.
Yeah.
I loved Zoloft, but she made me like drier than the Sahara.
free. No, I have dry mouth, and I also
No, like
oh.
yeah, I like was not interested in
Really?
anything.
Oh, well, that also, but birth control has always made me like that anyway. So
Hate birth control.
I don't
Me
need to be having sex.
Guys, if you're driving or trying to fall asleep, you can head on over to the description and listen to our audio version. And while you're over there, if you can rate our podcast 5 stars, because it really helps our podcast grow on those platforms. Why don't we honestly just first start off with like how we met? Because we've known each other for
So long.
So
like,
long.
Since like what, 2017 probably, maybe
2016, because I remember the house
Whoa.
that you met me in, and I moved out of that house by 2017.
So crazy.
But you guys have met each other in and out over the past
met
year.
At Tenants.
Once.
But I already felt like I knew you because I watched like.
And I felt the same way.
I remember
I was
that.
like, I was like, hey, like,
you were like,
No, I remember I shook your hand and I was like, sorry, that was weird. And you're like, no, it's fine. And I was like, okay.
like in my head we're friends, and that's like
Yeah.
I have that kind of relationship with so many people that I see out, and I'm like, am
Yeah.
I being weird right now? I don't know.
No, but we
Hashtag
are friends. so it's
parasocial.
fine. Yeah.
I decided that I'm just gonna like be the person to go, just be like, hey, and now I am. So.
Yeah.
That's good. People are too proud to be fans. Not saying you're a fan. no,
No, I am
no,
a fan.
No,
I'm
I
a
was
fan.
not saying that. But like, if I saw Megan the Stallion, I would fangirl out.
I have a video of me twerking with Megan the Stallion in
Oh,
Mexico.
what?
This is how close I was.
What's it like to live my dream? I would post that every day if I were you.
No,
Every
because
day.
my ass looks
Every
like
day
a
on the grid.
My ass looks like a pancake next to her.
Not at
It's
all.
Bad.
No, you're perfect.
Day
but-
637 of me posting
No,
me
literally.
twerking.
I would post that every day.
until I go blind.
She used to follow me on Instagram, but then like eventually unfollowed. But it's okay because like she got really famous and.
I love this topic. Wait.
This isn't. I'm like I'm a hottie.
no,
Oh,
she,
same.
it's
Yeah.
OG
every
day one.
Yeah.
She's like my Gaga,
Yeah.
her Megan.
Like this is insane.
I'm trying to think.
Same.
Well, first of all, I want to get into her Coachella set because me and you were texting each other like, girl, that was f***ed up.
I was pissed. I'm like, what were they? Were they telling her that her mic was off?
No, I think they like Oscars her, like
It's
where they like play the
disrespectful.
music and it's like you're done. Yeah, she was 15 minutes late.
She could hear it in her ears still though, because she was doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but then
was
she
like,
took it out and then I saw that face of like disappointment. I was
Yeah.
like,
it was so bad, and everyone was just like,
yeah. Because I started to see the dancers were a little off too, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, the dancers are trying their hardest to
It
like
was only
stay
15
on that.
minutes.
I know.
Can they lighten up? I don't
I
get it.
know. It was giving like Oscars music playing, like Grammys music playing, and it's like they're
Right.
in the middle of like thanking Jesus, and
Right.
suddenly
so
you
true.
hear violins, and
Yeah.
it's like, well,
Did you have fun?
guess
at
I'm an
Coachella?
atheist. What?
Right. True. Real.
I had a lot of fun in Coachella. It was like my first Coachella, not like worrying about going with a big group of people and like doing the whole
Same.
thing.
Same with her.
It's
I'm speaking for you now.
I'm like, love.
yeah, it was awesome. It was like just me and Lydia. We got like a random like dinky little timeshare thing that I called my dad because I played Coachella in 2022 and I was like, where did you stay?
That's
when
right.
you-
I saw you. I was in the crowd.
Insane flag.
I fully like not forgot about that, but like, God, that feels
I know.
like
I mean,
such
it
a
was 3
lifetime
years ago, which is so crazy, but Yeah.
She was packed too.
Yeah.
I remember being there.
I was shocked that it was packed because I played at like 2:40 in Mojave tent. I was like, nobody's showing up to this, and everyone came.
No, yeah. And I think I went weekend 2 as well, and it was like to
Weekend
the
2 was
brim.
bigger.
Was
Weekend 2
it?
I had a bigger crowd, yeah. Randomly. And it was more fun. I don't know why. I think I was just more nervous weekend 1 also. But I asked my dad where he stayed when he came to see me because like my dad doesn't he's not exactly rich. I don't know why I said that with a British accent.
It made
No,
sense.
sometimes
Like,
you just
you
have to
know.
do
It
that
felt
to
right.
get like some heavy hitters across.
Yeah.
It's like he's fine, but he's just a guy. He said he wants to give up all his material belongings. But I was like, so where did you stay that was like cheap and easy? And he was like, I think I have he has old Hilton timeshare points from like when before my parents divorced in like 2007 somehow
Racked
that he
up.
just never used.
Recession points.
Yeah.
Recession points, exactly. And so we got this
Right.
like you have to stay there for a week. It's in intervals, and we got it for $400 for a whole week.
Stop.
But
Damn.
the week for some reason starts on a Friday, so we couldn't stay there Thursday night. And we were like, we don't want to drive down during the day on Friday. That sucks.
Oh, so you booked it for the previous... Wait, no.
No, we booked it for that Friday, and I was like, where we just had to find out where we could stay on Thursday.
Where'd you say?
Luckily, I have a friend who I met on Raya.
What?
Oh, that's how it starts.
So he's really nice and awesome. And at first I was like, obviously it was like a flirty moment situation thing. And then he just kind of became like my therapist. Like we started talking during the fires, and like our first real conversation was like a hour-long phone call. I was like we had matched on Raya previously, like a few months before, and then I do this thing where I unmatch every single person so that I can start over in case like we didn't end up messaging each other, or if, like we messaged each other once.
Do they re-pop up?
Oh yeah, baby.
yeah, it's like the
Every
same
single
people
time.
on Raya.
Oh yeah, I've been on there since I was 18 years old. Like it's dark. It's
I
dark for
remember
me.
applying at TTLY Tila's 16th birthday party.
Yes.
And I was 16 or 17 years old, and I lied about my age. And then I got accepted when I was 18.
That happened. Yeah, I did the same thing. I applied when I was 17, and they didn't accept me until my 18th birthday.
Yeah.
To famousbirthdays.com, man.
Yeah, and it's like the fame at this point.
The fame of it
it's
all.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you in the middle of this episode, but if you can like this video, comment, subscribe, and ring the little notification bell. I know it sounds like a lot, but it takes 2 seconds. It really helps our channel grow on YouTube algorithmically. God, one time I tried to I remember I was in New York City and my ID was taken, and I think I was like 19 years old, and I wanted to get into this bar. It was either Tao or do you remember Vandal?
Yes.
No.
Hated Vandal.
Oh wait, is that the one?
The
and
pink
it had
rabbit
and
in
it
the
had the
front?
graffiti stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember I really wanted to go down to the club, but I didn't have a tangible ID. And
A tangible ID as opposed to the idea of an ID.
Well, I mean, there's the
concept of-
internet, but I literally, I think I was so hammered that I was DMing famous birthdays, trying to convince them to change my age to 21 for 30 minutes. To be to show the bouncer I don't have any ID, but you can Google my age. And then they didn't do it, obviously.
Damn it.
I think I figured out how to get in regardless, illegally. They shut down anyway. I think
Yeah.
they burned down actually.
What?
Yeah.
That's sad.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Wow.
I really loved that place though.
Yeah.
Would I know him?
No. He's a random guy that I met. He has a private Instagram, and he has 0 posts. But he's really hot, and he's 32. Anyway, we just became friends. Or we matched. I unmatched everyone. We rematched, and I messaged him and said so what went wrong the first time or some shit like that. And then he texted or we were texting next. We already had each other's numbers, and then he was like, "Do you want me to be honest with you?" And I was like, I hate that because the last time someone said, "Do you want me to be honest with you?" It was the most traumatizing thing ever. It was basically him being like, "I just wasn't attracted to you, and I think you're ugly." Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I feel every time someone's "Can I be honest with you?"
It's no,
no.
I don't want
and then
it.
I'm no, and then they say it anyway, and it's
Yeah.
always "Does this make me gay?" And then I go,
Oh.
"Hey, so imagine if I hit you over
Never
the head
spoke
with
to
a
you
bottle of
again.
vodka." Anyway,
Well, at least you're not drinking it.
so it
It was like, "Do you want me to be honest with you?" I was like, I guess. He calls me and he was like, "I just felt like I got this vibe from you that you weren't really you didn't care to reciprocate the conversation." It started. I thought he was so douchey, and I was like, okay. And then we somehow ended up getting into this really deep conversation about like our mental health and what we've been through and our interests, and he told me that I should look into Buddhism. There's an equilibrium of good and bad in the world, and like when good things happen, like there's a balance, and he was like, we just became friends from there. And then we like hung out one time in person, and it was very like, he came over and we watched like 90 Day Fiance or something stupid and like sat like far away from each other on the couch and like hugged, and then he left.
So there's like no attraction.
He's really hot, but I just like get the friend vibes from him. Like I also like
So you stayed at his house though on Thursday with Lydia?
Yeah, so
With Lydia?
With Lydia.
Okay.
Well, this is what is crazy when you said the spray tan guy, Corey.
Did he go there?
Hold on. So Lydia and I was like, do you care? Like we can stay at this guy's house. He moved to Palm Springs to it's like his dad's house. His dad was out of town. He moved to Palm Springs because he was like bored and wanted to not be in LA. So he's out there and he was like, you can just stay with me on Thursday. I was like, perfect. Lydia said she was down. We're driving. She's like, what if he kills us? Like you've met him once. And I was like, I think it's fine.
Valid
like
fear.
Fear. It's a person from the internet with zero pose.
Yeah.
I like it, we talk all the time. Like he's coming to LA this weekend, so if you want to meet him,
Okay.
yeah, he's a vibe. And
If you think he won't murder me, then
he
yeah.
won't, he didn't. Okay.
He
Turns out
He didn't murder me.
He didn't
murder me.
He didn't
murder you.
Turns out he's like the nicest guy in the world, and he went to
Well,
high
that's
school with
good.
like a bunch of people that I know from LA randomly. And as soon as we pull up, he comes and like helps us with our bags, takes us. He was like, "Which room? Do you guys want separate rooms, or do you want to stay?" And I was like, "How many bedrooms are there?" He's like, "Well, there's 4 in the house, and then I stay in the casita." I was like, "What's going on?" So we get
Was
the
he
whole
there
house to
alone?
ourselves. Yes, and yeah. So me and Lydia just go in the same bedroom
You
because
should have locked him in the casita and just stayed there the whole time.
No, because it was too far from the festival. Our place was like right next to it, so it was like spending money on Ubers and sitting in
Right.
traffic or like staying in a little whatever.
Almost got him.
But Lydia has her spray tan guy meet us at his house, and the
Corey.
spray tanner pulls up the moment we arrive because we were stuck in traffic and we were a little late.
He's swift with it.
So we walk in like all at the same time with the spray tanner, and I have a bunch of dietary restrictions right now, so I like brought food to cook. So I start cooking immediately in his kitchen, and Lydia sets up the spray tan tent in the kitchen,
guys are
and she's
fucking
like naked with a little
insane.
spray tan thong.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like you can't see anything because it has like the black.
Yeah, the little
But
tent.
we could see her head, and we were just like dying laughing. I was like, you met this man 2 minutes ago, and now you're naked in his kitchen getting a spray tan. And then we all became besties, and we hung out all night, and he's like so cool and awesome. He's
Giving full fillet and spray tan in the first 5 minutes. That's how you know, though.
yeah, but
That's how you know.
me and Lydia were both like, damn, like he's really hot. He just like, I don't know. He just gives like bestie vibes.
Yeah, I mean, Kate and I talk about that a lot. I feel like there's a lot of people that like
Don't make you horny.
No, for real. Like,
Yeah.
there's this one specific situation that I'm thinking about of, like, someone who on paper was, like, typically, like, perfect and knocked off every, like, checklist for me. This is, like, 8 months ago or something. And it was tall, job.
That's it. That's all you
Tall
need.
And
and
that's,
has a
and here's the
job.
thing. That's, like,
No,
That's
it's not even the bare minimum.
No, that's hard to find in
like,
LA.
that's actually
tall and job.
and they in public
and won't kill you.
tall and job and not a
tall
murderer.
and job and also public.
Yeah.
I shudder.
So God,
I don't know
and
why I
then
just said that.
meanwhile, I'm over here.
Tall with a job.
I'm over here wishing I had VR goggles on for some reason. I was just so bored, but it was
Yeah.
like it was super fun to like talk to and hang out with. I think I was just like so bored, and like I said, theoretically on paper, this person was a gorgeous, nice human being who was above 80% of LA. But yeah, sometimes
it's just not there.
it's just not there.
I feel like part of it is just like it's literally just a vibe that it's not just like your ID when you were 19. It's not tangible, It's
Right.
not. You
I love
can't.
that
But
call
famous
back.
birthdays is tangible,
Yeah.
as is Raya.
Yeah.
It's just
Both things exist on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck. But like if I meet someone and they're like, oh god, the amount of times that it happens to me with like actors or like I love having like a good fun new celebrity crush, but the problem is that I'm in too close of a proximity to celebrities, so like I always end up meeting them and they always end up disappointing me, and I don't
They're
like that.
weird,
Good
right?
though.
They're especially actors because they'll play a really hot role and then you'll meet them and you're
And
like,
you're like,
You're like, this was acting.
you're a really
real.
good actor. Wait,
Yeah.
oh, I was just about
Yeah.
to say that, like, I'm a foot taller than them all.
Well, that
They
as
are
well,
short.
yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your type?
I don't have a type. I ain't got no
I
type.
love that. Well, wait, we don't have to get too deep on dating, but how is dating typically for you?
I am currently not dating at all. I have sworn it off. I
Okay.
only have celebrity crushes that are
That's so
but they're a little too close for comfort.
It was,
Also, like
though.
after me and my ex broke up, like my other random ex, the one whose dad was indicted for 461 million euros of tax evasion and money laundering in Paris, and was potentially a frontman for Muammar Gaddafi. We're not really sure, but he was wanted for like 20 years in multiple countries. And then now my ex is
Same with my ex.
married to a porn star girl. She sold her nudes for what? Raised money for the Australian bushfires.
with the bush. Hey yo.
Yeah, period.
Period, queen.
Yeah, she raised $1 million for it. It's pretty awesome, honestly. But then he was engaged to her 6 months after we broke up, and now they have 2 kids, and they're married. And they're like huge Trumpies. Anyway.
Oh. See,
yeah.
that was almost like
And she-
slightly like
Yeah, and she drank raw unpasteurized milk during her pregnancy, which I don't know if you know.
that's what does that do?
It's just like can
Not
can
good.
get like really crazy diseases from drinking raw unpasteurized milk anyway, but
Yeah, but isn't that with like isn't all like the
Just
raw
straight from the
girlies
cow.
like people
Yeah,
are just
but-
eating raw meat on
but
Instagram
yeah.
reels
yeah,
now,
but
and
it's
I'm
like the
hey,
crunchy granola to alt-right pipeline is really real. Like they
Why
start
is
with
that-
being like
It
the
is.
government is all lying to us. We should all and then they like
You know how it
become
starts,
Trumpies.
and you know what? This is a big conversation I've been wanting to talk about on this podcast. What is it up with these mid-20s men? And
Period.
And
That's it.
End of
What is up
sentence.
with them?
all right, guys. So that's all we have
Gratitude?
for today. What is up with all these mid to late 20s men in psychosis right now?
Is that a
No,
thing?
like actually, I'm not just saying like as a gag. Like there is at least 4 people that I know that have been either hospitalized or sent to treatment centers in the past 6 months and I think politics and everything makes it worse as it's more intense and, you know, election and stuff. And I think people get in their heads, and then religious psychosis plays a huge part of that. And that obviously is very tied in with politics. But I think the crunchy granola pipeline, and then somewhere in the middle, the hallucinogens start happening where it's like, let's loosen our soul and let's like free our minds. And this is my opinion. So please, I know that these can help people in depression and mental health. I think
The
when
girl
it's,
with the mushroom tattoo on her arm.
right. Like I tried to do hallucinogens, like, for my depression. And then I saw shadow people for a month, a year.
Relatable.
It's fine. But yes, somewhere in between this, like, I eat raw cow for my body, and then it's like, wait, why are we in Peru doing ayahuasca? And then next thing you know, they're posting their own political campaign.
No, like
I have
actually
not
though.
seen this.
So
It's
We have
it's
different
real.
FYPs.
It's real. No, these are like real people.
do you know?
Oh, you know them.
Yeah, like know them. Like it's not like celebrities.
Yeah,
No.
people think they're like freeing their mind and like seeing. This is the thing. I always talk to my sister and my dad about this because I'm like,
Your
these.
6'2" sister that we love.
Yes,
She's 6'2"?
6'2.5".
6'2".
Above. That's hot.
She's perfect. But we always talk about, I'm like, I don't understand why in every video of anything that happens ever, all the comments are just like, I need to stop reading comments on
Real.
videos that are like really viral that like aren't necessarily niche to like, that. When it's a video that I know was tailored to me, I'm like, oh, there's going to be people that agree with me in the comments. And then I see a super viral video and I'm like, I read the comments and I'm like, everyone's like, blah 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 told you this in her psychic prediction years ago. They're burning down
Vanga.
they're burning down LA because it's hiding evidence from the trials. It's all
Yeah.
connected, the tunnels underneath, and everyone
even
in
see
Los
that.
Angeles. I was like,
Yeah. Girl, the tunnels. I saw so much shit about
I was
that.
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you like? Seriously, what are you talking about?
I feel insane. I'm like, wait, am I
No,
thinking the wrong thing?
People that don't know anything, they want to feel like they are smarter than you, so they think, oh, I know something that everyone else doesn't,
I
and then they
blame
go on this
Mudang,
rabbit hole.
The hippo.
You blame
I
Mudang.
agree.
Dang.
No.
What did Mudang do to you? The Mudang to conservative
Mudang
pipeline.
to conservative to granola, back to liberal, back to conservative.
To communist.
And psychosis. Religious pipeline.
Wait, R.I.P. Pope Francis though.
I know.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wait, that's major T. The day after Easter too was like.
And
JD
after
Vance killed
JD
Pope
Vance,
Francis.
yeah.
Okay, that.
You know he
me
did
saying
it.
me saying I hate conspiracy theories and then saying that.
I mean, that is a coincidence.
It
It makes you think.
It makes you think.
I was thinking, someone in my group chat sent a text that was like, yeah, he's probably been dead for like a week now, but they just saved the announcement for after Easter. So it's like,
Wait, that's true.
I've always said that.
like, could you imagine they just like had his body in a refrigerator and they're just like, yeah, let's gag these hoes. The day after Easter, he is risen.
No, it was literally on Easter, wasn't it? Like the night of Easter?
And that's even gaggier.
Yeah. No, which was the same day as Greek Easter.
Wait,
And that's not a coincidence either.
And 420.
Like,
Oh my God, all of
nobody's
our
talking
national
about that.
holidays.
Yeah.
Do you like weed?
I used to. I genuinely think that smoking weed is part of the reason I'm insane. Like, I started smoking weed when I was like probably 16. Like, there's nothing to do. I grew up in Napa, and like, there's nothing to do there unless you want to drive.
Wine.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
yeah.
yes.
Well, yes, but also no. Unless you want to drive 45 minutes to an hour to go to like Oakland or San Francisco, like there's nothing to do in Napa other than like drive out into like a field and hit a bong. Like that was what
That
everyone
was
in Napa
Temecula.
did.
It was the wine.
Yeah.
It's the wine country of Southern California. So it's like all we had was dirt roads and
Dirt roads and bongs.
American flags and
Yes. Yep.
Do you not smoke weed anymore?
wine.
Not really. No. Like every once in a while, I'll literally take. If I smoke weed, I'll have like one hit, or every once in a while, I'll have a good experience. But then I will be like, oh, I had a good experience. Let me do it a couple more times. And then all it takes is one bad. I was like taking 1 milligram edibles to help get my appetite back when I started Zoloft because it made me lose my appetite. And
Seeing God.
I literally just like it re-gave me it counteracted my Zoloft. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my OCD and anxiety is back right now because of this weed. Like it can. I'm either having a fun time and it's chill and I go to sleep, or I am insane and spiral and have a panic attack. And it's just like I don't want to risk it. So I used to be a really big stoner when I was a teenager, and now.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. I used to love it though.
I don't know why I kept doing it too, because I would have I remember my first real existential like crazy scary panic attack over
On
like
weed.
dying and growing
Same.
up. I took a bong rip at my friend's house, and then I was like, oh my God, like I am gonna grow old and I am gonna die. Like,
And why
this
do
is
I
my
always,
body.
yeah, I would think about that when
Yeah.
I'd smoke weed. But then I'd like eat food and I was like, this tastes so good. It's like,
Yeah, you have to
It's
like
like-
really know exactly what it is.
Like
I'm scared I'm gonna
evaporating.
die, but this tastes amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, so my heart beated
Yeah.
one time less that minute. That's
Come on, beat it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Come on, beat it.
Come on.
BDI.
BDI. How do you feel about BMI?
Oh. I don't even
Talk about a conspiracy theory.
talk about
Yeah.
a gaggy American dream.
And not enough people are talking about that.
Well, too many people are talking about it. And they're BDI'd for it.
You're so smart.
You're so smart.
Yeah. What if we made sense? Okay.
Wait, what if we
Oh
made
my-
love?
yes.
We've talked about my first time smoking weed on here, but when I first tried it that one time, like it was not what I expected at all. And it felt like I was skipping time. Like I felt like my concept of time was scrambled. I was counting my heartbeat. I was thinking about dying. I was thinking about I'm a fucking loser. Like my brain just immediately, and I've said this before to you and I'll say it again, like and it sounds dramatic as fuck, but since the first time I tried marijuana, like I've not been the same since.
I literally always say that.
I
I,
did-
think it triggered
Wait,
something.
What do you
did.
mean? Like, what's happened
It just
since?
I swear it opened something in my mind
Yeah.
that was just like, now you have the ability to think this way, because my biggest problem with my anxiety is that I spiral. Like I'm always thinking about
You
how-
go into these different holes within
Yes.
yeah.
yeah, it's you fall down rabbit holes and then a new rabbit hole, a new rabbit hole. That's why like it works sometimes. If I was high and I would like you're saying eating, then you're focusing on just the food and like that's okay for like however X amount of time. But like if I'm left to my own devices or like sitting in a car with I don't know, I swear it like rewired my way of thinking into being the way that I am now. I swear. So many of my friends like love weed and are huge weed people, and so like, you know, obviously it
Yeah.
works for some people. And I think it's not that it like it created our problems. I think it triggered something that
It
we
triggered
already had, because like
something
I know
that
I
was deep
genetically
down.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was bound to come out. But like we also talk about this a lot of times where it's like, would I trade my problems that I experienced in my teen years for like later in my life? And I don't think I would. Like I think like getting as many of our issues out of the way as early as possible like creates such a strong
yeah.
and create such a room for like a blossoming, like actual healthy adulthood. Because if I experienced alcoholism or like drug addiction like in my 30s, like well into my life, like I'd be like,
No, no,
sis.
Be
babe.
a slow burn.
slow burn. Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt one last time. We have a brand new bonus episode out on our Patreon. We love to have you over there. Please subscribe if you want to check us out and get some bonus episodes. Patreon.com/6feetabove. We are once again a self-funded podcast, so your support means the world. It keeps this podcast alive. Okay, back to the episode.
Wait, speaking of teens, you moved to LA when you were what, 16?
I was gonna go there too.
Yeah, the
Speaking
segue
of
went
teens,
into
good job.
Can you tell us what that was like coming to LA? Because I saw some interviews. Yeah, I did my research. And you were talking about how you were like partying with older people.
Partying
and
with
it's,
old
like,
people.
Bananas. So
Yeah.
what was that like moving here?
I mean, it was crazy. I knew Trevi back then. The parties were crazy. We were going into every single club. I had multiple fake IDs. Sometimes the people at the club that worked there would go into the back and get you like a fake ID that they stole from someone, or an ID that was left there that looked kind of like you, and you would use it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. It was everywhere. I like dated a club promoter when I was 17 and he was 24, and we decided we were dating when I was in the club. We said I love you when I was in the club. And like as soon as
So
I
romantic.
went on tour, I went on tour and I didn't see him for a couple of days and I wasn't drinking at the club. I was like, why am I dating this guy? I don't like him. He's like, this is not a vibe.
so
And also
real.
like, this is inappropriate. And so I broke up with him like immediately after I left for
Right.
tour, and then he like would not leave me alone. The amount of, I also like, I think I've had, this is, you guys are gonna both tell me probably to go to rehab after this, but I haven't really been drinking recently, so it's okay. But I haven't had like sex with anyone while I was sober, except for like people that I've been in relationships with, which has been very few. Like,
And that's relatable.
yeah, like
I think a lot of people relate to that.
I was really traumatized by like the sexual experiences that I had as a teenager,
Yeah.
because I would go out and I would get really drunk, because you take a 16-year-old girl who's severely bullied, severely insecure. I make a bunch of money. I have a hit song, get a nose job. And suddenly, like, I'm hanging out with all these like influencer hot girls. All these guys are hitting on me. I'm like, what is happening? Like all these guys that I thought were really hot when I was younger, that I thought I never had a chance with, were like hitting me up, trying to talk to me. Like, what is a girl supposed to do? But I was so deeply insecure, and I never healed that part of me. And I still thought like, I'm so ugly, I'm so worthless, I'm so stupid, I'm so weird, everyone hates me. So I would go and I would get really drunk, and then I would like get myself into these situations where I'm like, I don't remember what happened. Like, I know I hooked up with this 25-year-old man and I'm underage, and like that's but
It's so crazy, like how many times it just does happen with like people who aren't like celebrities or like famous, like where there's like not a platform for like stories like this to be told, but it like still happens.
It still
like,
happens.
all the
It's
time
so
in this
wild.
fucking
It's
city.
wild to look back
Yeah.
as an older person. I'm like,
Oh my
I would
God.
never even
Yeah.
like sniff a 19-year-old.
no. And
What
like
the are you doing with someone underage? Are you okay?
every year that I get older, I'm like, oh my God, I'm the same age as this person when this
Yeah.
happened. Or I'm the same, even like some of the girls that I was around were bringing me around and like pimping me out to their like 27-year-old friends.
Oh my God,
And like,
it's so
like
fucked up.
rappers and random people. Like, and a lot of these girls are like the kind of girls that their whole thing is like dating someone that is famous, and they've like
Right.
dated all these different famous people, and then they like finally one day realize like, oh, maybe I should like actually settle down now, and they just like marry like a kind of washed up celebrity at that point. I've seen this phenomenon like many times.
It's like holding on to the dream and then settling for like
And then being like,
D-list.
okay, like I've done all the
Yeah.
A-list, and now this is like I'm gonna just lock this one in while I can, and it's just like, what is going on? But I was literally like, I would not currently, if I met a 17-year-old girl, I would not take her to the club. I would not take her around my
no.
older male friends. Like, what the? I'm so protective of young girls, because I'm like, girls my age and older were doing that to me, like bringing me around. Like, that's
And
so not okay.
One of the
insane.
saddest reasons why I feel like it doesn't happen as much anymore is literally just because they're scared of the cancel culture. Like,
And
I don't
social
think it's because
media.
they learned a lesson.
No.
I think it's like, oh, we now know that like people don't
Right.
like this, so we're gonna be super secretive about
Yeah.
it. But like, it still happens.
Definitely.
I still hear fucking stories.
I really feel like it wasn't as publicized until kind of like right after I was a legal adult, you know, like during that time, it was very much like no one would kind of find out about this, and we all thought it was okay, and like we all thought it was like kind of fine.
Yeah.
And then people really started kind of cracking down on it.
Yeah.
more recently. And same with like almost all issues, honestly. Like there are so many things that I wasn't necessarily educated about when I was like a really young teenager, and I like all I had was like iFunny and Vine. Like we're not talking about political issues on there.
God
You know what I mean?
forbid we have an iFunny moment.
Yeah.
Did you originally move to LA because you were seeing success in what you were doing when you were living in Napa, or did you like just come out here without a plan, or like come out here with like how did you end up here?
I was making like SoundCloud covers, like literally like on the SoundCloud app, like press record, press stop, upload. Like you couldn't even edit them.
We did that once for the podcast.
But this was back like on
Same
iPhone
story.
4s. Like you couldn't even like
I
you
love
couldn't even
SoundCloud.
clip it. Like you couldn't even like clip it. Like it would have the noise of me like pressing play and pressing stop, and I would like mess it up a little bit and be like, that one's fine, I'll post it. And yeah, I just like would do it like kind of in secret. My sister was like in choir and she was a really good singer, and I thought I was bad. Like she would come in my room and be like, shut the fuck up, you sound like shit. But now
Damn,
now
sis, too.
now that we're friends, she's like, well, I just wanted you to stop because you were being loud and I was trying to do my homework. I'm like, okay, valid. Super valid. Yeah, I just never thought I was good. And then obviously kids were mean to me about it. They were like, what do you think you're doing? Like nothing is ever going to happen for you. Like, what is that meme? Stephanie Germanotta, you will never be famous.
Facebook group.
Yeah, that was very much.
I feel like every single person who is borderline like in this space or like a public figure at any degree, like you experience some sort of backlash from stupid motherfuckers when you put yourself out there.
Of course.
Because you can't get anywhere without embarrassing yourself a little bit, without being cringe, without like there's like I saw like this diagram thing called, it was like you have to climb Cringe Mountain to get to the other side, and it
To
was
get
like
to Slay Valley.
Yes, you gotta be shameless.
no, but it's so real. Like you have to climb the Cringe Mountain and then you can be on the other side, and the other people are like too scared to even go there, so they'll criticize you for like making the journey of like embarrassing yourself. Granted, yeah, I was so young, and I'm not gonna say I regret any of the decisions that I made, but I think that I'm happy that I didn't get like bigger than I was when I was
Right.
that age, because I was so f***ed up. I was so f***ed up in the head, like. So I posted a cover of the guy that I did I Hate You, I Love You with. His name's Nash. He was opening up for Black Bear and Mod Sun on tour, and I was a fan of them at the time. So I went and looked who was opening because I wanted to go to the show, and I saw him, and he had one song on SoundCloud, and I was like, oh, I really like this, I'm gonna do a cover. So I did a cover, I posted it, I tweeted it at him, and I guess I was the first person to ever cover it.
Okay.
So he
God,
like,
look at your mind.
Yeah,
I love your
wow.
mind.
I didn't, but I wasn't thinking like that. I didn't know what was gonna happen. And then he DM'd me and was like, do you want to come to the show in San Francisco? So I was like, obviously. I show up, I'm 15 and my name's on the list. I was like, yeah, I'm the coolest person in the world. After his set, he comes down to talk to me, and he asked me if I have any original music, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll send it to you. So I sent him I Hate You, I Love You, and
it started with you?
I wrote it all, yeah. Well, he added his verse, but I composed it, like the piano parts, and I wrote,
Damn,
yeah.
15.
I didn't know that. I thought you guys just like hit the session together and just
I had
like,
never been in a writing session in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, even when that song was like peaking, I still hadn't even really been in a writing session.
Damn.
Which is why it's so crazy. Like I literally went from being told like you're bad at this, you're horrible, you're ugly, you're annoying, you're stupid, no one likes you, and then I had a hit song, and I was like,
Period.
I'm confused. Like what are you supposed to do? And like I was very much like a super anxious, depressed teenager with a lot of issues, so I'm sure I made a really horrible impression. I'm so sorry to anyone that had to have a session with me when I was first starting out. Like I'm
sure they're watching.
but
this.
it's
Yeah, they
they
are.
are for sure.
Everyone's
They're like they're keeping tabs on me because they hated me so much because I was such a little brat. But no, it's just like if I ever seemed bitchy, it's because I was anxious. I was socially anxious. I was scared. I was depressed. I was in my head. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like, and looking back now as a 25-year-old, I'm like, oh my God, I was 15, 16 doing this.
Right.
Like what? That's
crazy.
the juxtaposition from small town Catholic school life to the middle of LA, 16 in the middle of Miami.
No, man.
no money, no
bang.
family.
Well, luckily my dad did come with me. So
Okay, so he
Yes.
moved out there
Yeah.
with you. I was
So-
about to say, did you
so
gag
basically,
out there on your own?
No.
Because I gagged out there with my brother when I was 16.
ooh,
I
how old was your
just like-
brother at the time?
He's 3 years older than me. He was like
That's
19.
crazy.
I was like, peace out. Gonna
That's
be a star.
crazy. No, my dad.
True.
I moved in with my dad when I was 15 because I didn't get along with my mom, and then I was living with him at the time, and then he drove me down to LA to record the song with Nash. Nash was like, I want to put a verse on this. Like,
Where was your dad living, or where were you living?
in Napa.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this
you
all
get
happened.
driven to the session.
Yeah, I was still in Catholic school, wearing my uniform every day.
Mm-hmm.
We go down to LA for the weekend, record the song, and he had a little studio set up in his dad's like detached garage in Larchmont. We recorded it. The next day, we recorded my cover of "Complicated," and then I went back home, and then we posted it on SoundCloud, and then it blew up, and then we both got signed, and I got a lawyer, and I got managers, and
I just got chills.
yeah.
Gaggy Anna 3000.
It was like the craziest thing that has ever happened ever in the history of the world. So
That is crazy.
So you go there. When I hear of people discovering music now, it's like through tailored algorithms to people's like types of music. Like I don't think these type of algorithms existed back then. Like even with, like for instance, like with my YouTube stuff doing good back in the day, like a lot of that stuff is literally like via sharing and word of mouth. It's not like this huge thing where it's like you have one TikTok hit a certain threshold of an expected time and then it like pushes it out to this group of people.
So you think it's easier to blow up now?
Now I think it's easier to blow. I mean, actually, well,
I feel like it's so hard.
It's very hard because it's very
Yeah.
oversaturated.
I think it creates a different kind of listener, a different kind of fan, a different kind of watcher.
Totally.
Like when somebody actually is really dedicated. I always say that my ideal level of fame is someone like that has a real cult fan base following where they can sell out a show and every single person there is like a ride or die fan, but like they can go about their normal life and people won't necessarily know who they are. Like only people with like really good music taste in that specific genre or whatever it is like will know.
Yeah.
And then like people in the industry are really obsessed with them or whatever. Like that's the ideal like level of fame I think for anyone because you can still make a bunch of money. Those kinds of artists will sell bigger shows than someone that has like a bunch of viral songs on TikTok because people will just listen to the sound and they won't actually maybe connect with it. They won't learn about the artist. Like,
do you know any songs that I feel like we all know like the lyrics to that like I know like so many songs that I know like 10 seconds to and it's like I know nothing about the artist. I know the song is like does well on TikTok, but it's like so few times have I stumbled across an artist. I mean they have to be so strategic and like good with their marketing to the point where it like sells the idea of an artist.
I feel like an example of what you just said is, you know, Fletcher?
Right.
I feel like she's like can sell out and has like a cult like following and like I feel like she could walk through the streets because she's heavy on the LGBT and like people wouldn't know.
yeah, there's a lot of people like that have like more queer fan bases that have that kind of fame.
Fan base.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ideal.
I mean,
fan
like
base.
honestly,
now.
like Charlie XCX before she had like this last year's blow up, like she
Yeah.
was an A-list celebrity to like people that knew about her,
Totally.
but like I didn't realize how much that didn't penetrate the mainstream until Brat. And I was like,
Right?
oh, you people are
Yeah.
just
Didn't know
discovering her.
her.
Like that's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Because if
And
you
same
don't
with
like
Sabrina
her, if
Carpenter.
you don't like her of Vroom Vroom, you don't deserve her at Apple.
Actually,
So
though,
true.
if you're not, wait,
What was that one?
everyone was signing. She was having everyone. People were making her sign douches. Do you remember that?
Love.
Enemas.
From where you started in the music industry to now, I know you've had such insane lore of just so many different eras happening from like being with a label to you literally deciding to be independent and then getting full creative control of your artistry and everything from like, what would you say? It's been like 8-9 years since you've been out here now?
Yeah, it's been 9 years.
What would you say is like the biggest thing that you've noticed about the industry that's like different now?
Everything is different.
And like, what's your least favorite thing? 'Cause
Um,
obviously, we have short form, but like,
I think, well, the thing for me, like I was kind of talking about earlier, is my situation was so crazy. I didn't have any idea what I wanted to be as an artist. I wrote songs on guitar or piano in my room. I would write like verse pre-hook or verse hook. And that was it. Like I had no idea what kind of production. I knew literally nothing. I didn't know about visuals. Like I knew nothing. So I had to kind of, and then I was immediately like signed to a major label. And so then I had to kind of be like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I tried to kind of replicate music that I liked, which I was only listening to like Kehlani, like R&B music back then. And
Love.
So I just made all this music that was kind of all over the place, and then it took me so long to figure out what I wanted, and then I had that pressure of the label that I felt like, oh, I need to make this kind of stuff for this label. And at that time, I signed in 2016. That was like the year of 360 deals, like the year that everyone was kind of signing.
Wasn't it also like around the time where they like literally stopped artist development?
Kind of, yeah. And it was also when it was like right after the battle to monetize streaming and to fully switch over to streaming. So that's why they were signing such crazy deals, because they didn't know how to really they were still figuring out how to monetize everything.
Right. And they were probably afraid of losing money.
Yeah, it was such a huge change.
Yeah.
So I signed when there was already a bunch of changes happening in the industry, and then like my story at my label is basically just that like the president left, and then we got a new president, and then
Why does that happen to everyone?
well, to me it happened like
Seasons
14
change.
times. That's
Really?
the problem. I mean, the guy who signed me, and then he left, and I was almost Dave Massey, yeah. And I was almost done with my album, and then we get a new president. I thought he was really cool. I put out my album, and then right after I put out my album, he fires my A&R, and he was like, I was going to fire her anyway, but I was just waiting until you put your album out, so then now I can actually develop you as an artist. Like, we can just toss that one away, and like now it's gone and out, and now we can work on you. And I was like, oh, you wanted me to put out an album as just like a throwaway? Cool. Even in that time, there was so much change in just, I looked around one day, I was like, there's not one single person left at this label, not my product manager, not my A&R. I mean, I loved my A&R. She's like, still love her. She's amazing. No one here had signed me. No one here, like, I just didn't feel like they cared about me as an artist. And also, like, I had no idea what I was doing as an artist. I was like, I don't like this. Whenever people would ask me, like, what kind of music I made or to play my music, I'd be, like, embarrassed because I don't listen to that kind of music. I didn't feel like it was, like, genuinely good. I was so insecure about everything. And I was like, and they're taking all my money. I need to leave.
Right.
I was like, I need to leave. The new presidents come, and one of them is, like, best friends with my manager, and I was making a lot of like really shady TikToks towards the music industry, just being like, when you get stuck in a whatever and the labels take everything. And one of the presidents called my manager and was like, does she really not want to be here? Like, we don't, like, it's okay, like, she's been here since she was 16, like, we get it, like, if she doesn't want, we don't want an unhappy artist on our label. And they were like revamping the whole thing, and they let me out, and any song that I recorded on their dime, if I want to put it out, like, they don't own it. I have to pay the producer fee, obviously, but like they're not gonna like take it from me. It was really, really, really
That's
nice.
an ideal situation.
Yes, it was. And like now, of course, Island is like the best label in the game right now. They have everyone. That's how it goes, though. The last meeting I had with my label was a Zoom meeting with TikTok specialists that just sent me a long list with links of TikToks that I should copy to promote my music. Yeah. And I was like,
and that's where
why am I giving you 80% of everything that I make? Even once
80%?
Even once I recoup my advance, they make 83% and I make 17.
Dude,
even
all
after
I hear
recoupment.
is horror stories about the music industry.
But it's not. It's getting better, and I want to resign. Yeah, I want to resign to a major because I want to put out an album and I want to do a whole album cycle. But I want to make sure whoever I sign with, like, we are doing this. We are committing.
Balls to the wall.
You are, and I'm gonna. And you don't need to A&R me. I'm making the whole album myself. I have all the concepts. I have everything. Here it is. Believe in me. Support me. Push me. And
that's my
be
tea
my
right
be a
now.
fan. Be a fan of me.
That's my tea right now. If you're not a fan of
Get
like,
the f- out.
you know, even down to like this podcast, like if you're not a fan of like my whole universe, it's like, how are you gonna believe in the big picture? Because like, I say to Kate all the time when it comes to like my artist project is like, I feel like this platform right here that like me and her share is like so important because like she does stand-up comedy as a passion, I do music as a passion, but this is such a fabulous medium because like it's having a podcast means that like I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this into words, but like the people that are watching are so insanely invested on you on such a different level. You guys are our fucking friends.
Yes.
And we protect them, so we're like, I'm like,
sleeping on
honestly,
us.
you should be grateful. No, I'm kidding.
No, I am grateful.
No,
I'm a fan. No, but that's so true. It's like when you listen to someone's podcast, you're like, I just want to hear what you have to say.
Oh
like,
God,
for example, when I listen to y'all, it's like the dynamic.
Wait,
also,
do you like actually listen?
Sometimes.
Wait.
It's a gag.
I don't think a guest has ever actually listened. Wait, that sounds so true.
Wait. That's why I think this is so special. And I used to think like, you know, when we were first starting, like that maybe it'll throw off the brand like once I start rolling out my project. And it's like, no, it's actually going to help me because like as the episodes go on, like I'm talking about like all these new developments and like because I've just my nightmare with managers, but I just now finally signed to music management, and like we're doing like my whole thing with my project now, and it's like I have all these people here that are invested on a different level than like the rest of the people that are following me,
and
which I
that's
think is so special.
The difference between the passive watchers, passive listeners versus like the people that you like. You have like a cult following.
They sold out her fucking show. Like,
it was beautiful.
if last thing on this note, if someone who is a smaller artist or someone who just is an artist that's listening right now who hasn't been at a major, what is the biggest thing that you feel like you took away from it? And do you have any advice on someone who is looking to go into a deal like that?
I mean, I wouldn't have anything if I didn't sign to a major because like at that time I had never been in a writing session, and I also had like my publisher, they were also setting me up in sessions, and my managers were also helping. It's a group effort. I think the best thing is just to be as educated as you can be. Like I almost said know your rights, like you're not getting arrested, but know your worth, know your rights, and definitely shop around, see what's out there. Don't like if you get offered a record deal, don't just be like, yes, I'll take it. Like
it's a record deal.
Someone's offering it to you, someone else probably wants you too, so go try them out. Like I had options and whatever. Who knows what would have happened if I had gone whatever route? Everything would be totally different. But
it's giving Yellow Brick Road.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. It's even us with the podcast. Like the first deal we got, we turned down, and then now we're that network went out of business. They went bankrupt.
And she was like you were saying before, how you were like, do whatever you want to do. She was like, this isn't a sobriety podcast, so don't talk about being sober too much. And it's like,
and that's like,
what do you want from us?
A huge
she
part
us
of
to
our
relapse.
We should have in front of
she wanted y'all to be 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Yep. And gaga.
And no one's ready to talk about that.
Nobody's ready to talk about that. But that's such like, when we heard that, me and Kate looked at each other. We're like, honestly, this.
No,
and then we were like,
literally.
we started funding the podcast on our own, doing it on our own. And like now it's just such a huge part where we can like freely talk about like all these past stories.
Yeah.
And then like we make people rethink their ideas of like what it is to be like a weekend drinker and like what it is to like constantly always need a drink or like just to question it's good to be
Curious.
self-aware and curious about these ideas.
I love the way that you guys do talk about sobriety. One, because you're both funny as and two, it's not in a annoying way. Like it's not like you're like, I'm sober for my blah 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 blah. Like you've been in the trenches, you've gone through it all, like in and out of the trenches, back in the trenches, out of the trenches again. Like I just can't believe someone would say not to talk about it, because it's not like you're being you do it in a fun and funny way that anyone's gonna enjoy, and then also it will help people. Like it'll help people as that extra little thing on the side.
Totally. And the way we like to approach it too is like super, because it's a heavy conversation. Like ultimately, right? And it's like, she's funny, I think I'm funny, and the way that we tackle some of these hard hitting topics might be a little easier on someone who maybe is battling that or is like curious about that but doesn't want to be, like you said, preached at.
Yeah.
Or like,
because I thought it was like a death sentence when I got sober. I was like, I'm never going to feel hot again. I'm never going to feel funny or have like experience joy. So it's like, I think it's so important for us to joke about it.
Have you yet? Because I haven't.
No, and I'm still waiting for that, honest to God. But
it's really inspiring.
No, yeah, that first year.
This is the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah,
totally.
The first year sucked, but
yeah,
year 5, I'm like experiencing moderate mirth.
I learned a new word from this woman. Mirth?
Joy and mirth.
It's not what the mirth
What's
would have wanted.
mirth?
Don't.
Is that like
it's
girth?
like, you know.
Is that one of the things they brought baby Jesus?
Yes.
Oh, that's mirth.
Yeah, no, it is Christmas coded, like joy and mirth.
Christmas coded.
They come together.
How do you spell that?
MIRTH.
What is it?
Mirth.
What does it mean?
It's like joy. Wait,
Oh.
do you guys
Joy and mirth.
not know the mirth lore?
I
didn't
don't
know
the
anything
mirth
about
lore.
mirth until right now.
But you're
Interesting.
like a thesaurus up there. Like
I like
you,
that.
I do have
you
random
be like
words.
finding things and then just like putting out something out of
and then
left
just putting
field.
out.
Hello.
Yo.
And that brings us to our next topic.
What's the one you said
Wait,
the other day?
okay,
You
yeah.
go bumping uglies.
Have
I
you
go, what
heard
the
of bumping
fuck?
uglies?
Yeah.
Thank you. She thought I was calling her ugly. I was like, but that and romp in the hay you've heard of.
Romp in the head.
Yeah, now you lost her.
No, it's
you
sex.
lost our guest.
It's
Bring her
sex
back.
as well. Like
I feel like I may have heard that.
Yeah,
like
romp
if
in
someone
the hay.
said romp in the hay, I would like assume that means
Yeah.
sex.
thank you. Speaking of sex,
Speaking of
Should we talk about situationships?
Ooh,
We can talk
love.
about those.
Do you want to gag into your story?
I had a situationship with this guy who was 3 years younger than me.
And I've met him.
Hello.
Yeah. And oh my god, I cannot, like, once you are over something, you look back and you're just like,
You're like, how did I ever?
I cannot believe I did that. But this is the thing, like, when I said I'm taking a break from dating, like, I'm so dead ass. I have no desire to date because I am so bad at picking people. I am biologically attracted to people that are like actual
Shitty.
supervillains or are evil. Like,
Yeah.
I can't bring myself, like earlier when you were saying sometimes when people are like perfect on paper.
That's where it's like, why are you?
Yeah.
It's almost the niceness adds an ick factor, and that's something that like
It's
I
trauma.
had to work on. Yeah.
It's trauma, babe. Yeah, and I had that, and I can recognize that. I'm like, I shouldn't be dating, and I shouldn't even be like entertaining anything. Like, I'll flirt with people, but that's like it. Especially after this, after I realized
It was intense, girl.
that was just like, oh my god, Olivia, what are you doing? This is so embarrassing, like genuinely so embarrassing. So, anyway, this is just like I wrote my song "Out of Your League." But I want you so bad, parentheses, about him. Yeah, I met him at a party and he was like so obsessed with me and like asking everyone for my number and like everyone was like, you do not have a chance with her, little rat, to like get away.
That's how it starts, though.
Yeah,
they like
always.
start off like
Never
with
the ones you want in the beginning.
ever.
Yeah.
No.
And it's like, how am I
No.
trapped here?
You're like, I lowered my standards.
I literally, I threw a dog a bone and then he fucking bit me.
Literally.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
why I'm a writer.
drugged.
Anyway, so then I was one night I was like, fine, I'll hang out with him and give him a chance because like my friend was seeing his friend and we had
Oh, yes.
yeah, and we all hung out and I was like,
I
wait,
also met him.
yep. No, that's a different friend. And that my other friends are also.
So
we're all
the
about
whole
friend group
friend group was
integration. Yes.
cohesive.
Anyway,
You give a dog a bone, and now they're at the clinic getting STD tested.
now there's a bunch of dogs. All yeah.
Yeah, rabies.
Um,
Continue.
Where was I? Oh, I gave him a chance and I was like, oh my god, he's actually like kind of cool. Like he's being really nice to me. Like he just seemed so intrigued and enthralled by like everything about me. He came over to my house and was like looking at all my decorations. Like he asked me to show him my skincare routine. Just like random weird shit. It was like
shut
so
up.
but it was so personal to me and I've never liked that with
Yeah.
people.
Right.
And we ended up like staying up all night talking about music, sharing music. We went in the hot tub and then we hooked up and it was actually like shockingly good. And we
Yeah.
were like looking each other in the eyes and I was sober.
See,
Oh, yeah,
so
that
there it
makes you fall
goes.
in love.
I was
There it
like, whoa,
goes.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like a few days later, like we're still texting and everything. And I was like, I made a joke in invisible ink. I said like, do you like me or something like as a joke. And he was like, I'm going to be honest. What is it with honesty?
Oh,
What is it with
No,
honesty?
because it's like, don't be honest. Actually,
Yeah,
I'm
he was
begging.
like, I need, like, I just got out of a 3-year-long relationship. I'm like, 3 year.
Aren't
First
you,
of all,
like,
you're 21.
12?
He was 21. I was like, okay, so your high school girlfriend, whatever.
he is.
He was like, I'm just really not
Bummer.
ready for anything. And I was like, first of all,
Right.
when the fuck did I say I wanted to date you?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you're
would
being
not
flirty.
be caught dead dating a boy. Like I was like, we should just not talk at all anymore. And then I was like, damn it, but I love a good situationship. And this like just fuels the fire even more. Now that I know, now that he's given it, showed me like a little and then taken it back, I'm like, damn it now. And then it became for like almost a year, this just back and forth
This push and
weird
pull.
game of like,
Yeah.
he would call me every night at 4 a.m., 3 nights in a row. I wouldn't answer. And then we'd see each other and then we'd have like a fun night. And then we would like not talk for a month. And then like, I went to dinner with my friends and he was on a date in the corner. I didn't even see him. And then he was like, yeah, you saw me on a date with this girl. And I was like, what? I didn't even
You're
see
like,
you.
I didn't even-
He was like, you walked
Ew.
past me. You looked really sad. I was like, I literally didn't see you.
You're like,
He
I was looking for my
He
Uber.
was like, you were wearing a green sweater. I was like, well, seems like you were fucking looking at me, babe.
Right.
So weird, just like weird stuff. And one time, actually last year at Coachella,
Okay.
his friend was sitting. Oh, actually, he was the first one to say this to me. He was like, Olivia, you remind me so much of my mom. And he always talks about
and
how
that's
much,
why they.
he always talks about how much he loves his mom.
Yeah.
And honestly, I love his mom
That's a real
too.
psychological thing
His
with
mom's
men.
great.
If you remind them of their mom, like
They're trying to
something
fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
and that's
It's weird.
a whole other
It's-
thing we need to unpack. But
Yeah.
yes, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Freud may have been right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he like told me that multiple times, and then we were at Coachella, and his friend looks at me. I was just talking my shit as I do, and his friend looks at me and goes, Olivia, I'm really scared right now. Like you remind me of one person in the world, and it's this man's mom.
Right.
Whatever. We like don't really talk anymore. Like sometimes I see him out. I saw him at Coachella
This
and
year?
yeah. So I
Okay.
saw him on Friday night in like the little AEG section, and he was so his parents were there, and I saw the mom, and I was like, oh my God, I want him to introduce me to his mom so bad. Like I've heard so much about her.
Oh my God.
You're like, I've heard so much about my twin.
And he didn't introduce me. He came over and said hi to all his friends, and he didn't introduce me. And I was like, I can't believe he's just with her and like right there and didn't introduce me.
Yeah,
like, what the heck? I see him in the artist viewing section. I don't remember at what artist, and I was like, why didn't you introduce me to your mom? And he was like, oh, what? I didn't? I thought I did. I was like,
God.
And he unfollowed Lydia, and Lydia came up to him at a party and was like, why did you unfollow me? And he goes, what? You unfollowed me first. Like, no, like he literally just lies. Like he's so, oh my God, whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to next time I see her back there, I'm going to say hi. And he was like, okay. I was like, cool, okay. I just want to make sure that was okay with you, so it's not weird. And he was like, yeah, you should, totally. I was like, great. So I see her the next day. And I'm dressed as a little fairy, and I was feeling my oats. I was feeling beautiful and gorgeous, whipping my braid around, and I see his parents, and I walk over. I was like, "Hi, I don't want to be weird. I'm friends with your son. My name's Olivia, and he and his best friend." I said the friend's name. But,
always say that you.
Yeah, they always say that I remind them of you, and like whatever. Kind of told her the story.
That's kind of
crazy.
That's crazy. You said that. I'm kind of so proud of you.
Yeah, that's like insane.
And remove the kind of.
This is proof that my Zoloft is working, because I was like, I was at Coachella, like
fearless.
People probably thought I was on Molly. No, I was just really happy, and I just felt really hot and gorgeous and perfect.
Gum.
And I just
The amount of
jaw
gum.
was not swinging.
No.
Jaw was not swinging.
Did I send you that clip where I was like, hope that it was worth it? Jaw swinging.
Genius.
Yeah. You meet her.
So
she's
amazing. She's literally perfect.
Well, she's like,
she's hot.
Twin.
She's awesome. And she goes, I'm so sorry you had to deal with my Scorpio son. I was like, oh my God. And then she was like, wait, what's your last name? I was like, O'Brien. And she was like, oh yes. I'm like, they like talk. I think him and his mom are really close. And like the dad was like, oh yeah, you guys talk about his love life together, like talking about the mom. And she was like, yeah, he's
girl when the mom apologized.
I know. I was like, she knows some stuff I do not know. So that was fun. But then she was like, it's such a compliment that people compare us. Like, you're so beautiful. Like, what? And she like pointed out my fairy ears. I was like, yeah, I'm a fairy. And she was like, that's me. That's our thing. Me and Bleep.
Yeah.
Our thing, fairies. And I was like,
okay,
that's my thing.
Yeah, he'd never admit that to you.
Yeah, and it's the whole like theme of my music that I'm going into is all like fairy stuff. I just finally figured out the entire vibe of what I want for the whole visual idea, and I'm so excited. I'm thinking
of leaning into something like not robotic, but almost like some sort of like digitized.
Yeah.
Like digital. Yeah, well,
that's good. I can see that for you.
Yeah, like almost like red carpet, like wires hanging off me type.
Or like a Lego bikini.
Yeah, like weird like architectural like fashion meets Mew Mew meets club rap.
I have Zoloft dry mouth. Sorry, one sec.
And
I'm about to get a UTI. I need to pee so bad.
Go.
Dude, I get such bad UTIs. I got 8 in 6 months.
You might have interstitial cystitis. That's what I have.
What is that for the
So it
those that don't know?
it like lives. I don't know. It's confusing. It's really hard to diagnose, but it's basically like when you've had so many UTIs at a certain point, or like if you've left it untreated for whatever. Like my mom used to get them so bad. She had to be airlifted out of the Cayman Islands and got a kidney infection. Yeah, like crazy.
What?
So it's genetic.
I've been UTI to kidney infection before.
Hey, the bacteria or the virus, whatever it is, like lives inside of your I almost said uterus, inside of your bladder.
Amazing.
And it,
amazing.
And then it can just be like triggered by random things, and you could just like get UTI symptoms randomly, and you like can't really take antibiotics for it.
Just a dormant neighbor.
So she's never gonna go away.
Yeah, you just have to kind of like my mom sent me this like herbal tea to take, and I do the Eucora. I've been good since I have been taking Eucora and this other like it's called urinary X vitamins. Like that's sexy.
Also, I like don't have sex, so but I pee every literally virgins right here. I pee every 30 minutes though. Ever since the UTI gate. Do you pee a lot?
Yeah, you probably
UTI
probably have interstitial cystitis.
I definitely have it.
A doctor as well. I should add that to the intro.
My friends call me Dr. O'Brien.
My friends are Dr. Trevi because I know everything about every medication. I'll break down.
So you're both smart and perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're both gingers.
Well, and you can make a joke about anything, and I love that. I'm like, wait. So why is everything such a joke?
She's Miss Thesaurus over here.
Yes,
hello,
Thesaurus.
Dr. Thesaurus.
You're good with words. We're good with science. You want to fight, bitch?
I'm actually so not
We
good
start
with
making
science.
out.
No, I'm begging. What?
You guys have almost made out quite a few times today.
Yeah,
There's-
I mean, you
there's
should see us when the
tension.
cameras are off.
Hello.
uh,
A lot of crying. What?
I'm
is that what
thinking
happens
we.
on Patreon?
What?
Is that what happens on the Patreon?
Yes, we actually
Yes.
just full on.
Oh.
I'm thinking we go into off our chest. Yes. Okay. If you guys don't know what off our chest is, it is where we rant about something negative or rave about something positive that happened to us in the past week, past couple weeks, or just something that's been on our mind. Liv, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay. One thing I will rave about is I finally sold my house. It was like
That was tea.
I will get into the nightmare details one day eventually, but it's too soon. It was
Yeah.
like
You don't wanna
actually
scare your-
my realtor got me this little guitar necklace.
Aw.
As a present from 14 Carats because I was robbed 3 times in the house and they stole my
What?
jewelry every single time.
Yeah,
Yep.
she got
3 times.
Wait, they stole
down.
what every time?
They stole jewelry every single time. So I just never bought any nice jewelry. Yeah, 3 times. I was targeted probably. I don't know. Anyway, so I never got nice jewelry. So she showed up to my house with a little 14 carats bag and she got this little guitar and it's brown and it's like so perfect.
so
It's literally
special.
so. I started crying. I was like,
Yeah.
And the note was like, so you can start over your new collection.
Wait,
new
I just got the
beginnings."
chills.
I know.
That-
What I really want to get off my chest is that I am a medical mystery. I'm a medical mystery. I have GERD, and do you have GERD too?
No.
Well, I know she does. Yeah, we
Oh.
talk about our GERD.
It's giving esophagitis.
Esophagitis. Well, I got an endoscopy, and he was like,
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yes, baby's first endoscopy. And he called me and he was like, yeah, so there's some inflammation, some irritation, so it could either just be GERD. And I was like, what do you mean just be GERD? Like, is there no cause for GERD? Like, do I just have to like adjust my diet for the rest of my life? Like, take a medication that you're only supposed to take for 2 weeks at a time for the rest of my life?
Famotidine?
Like omeprazole or like pantoprazole
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're only supposed to take those for like 2 weeks at a time. Like
Yeah.
that's not a long-term medication. Anyway, whole thing. And he was like, or it could be this type of esophagitis. I forgot what he said.
Barrett's esophagus?
No, it's if it's a different one that
Oh, the EOS.
Yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that it's caused by food allergies. And I took a bunch of blood tests to see what was wrong with me because I was having all this stuff. Now I'm realizing a lot of the symptoms were probably stress related due to my horrific sale of my home. I thought there was nothing wrong with me at first. It said my biological blood age was 10.9 years old. So
Wait, that's
very
gacky.
young. Yeah.
That's like turnover
Whoa.
boots.
yeah. So
Mine's probably 85.
It's like a vampire.
It's like, so what's the like brown crust around your liver? And I'm like, honey, do I have
none
a
of your
story for you?
business.
None of your business.
Wait, but what
Doctor,
is
none of your business.
GERD?
GERD is gastroesophageal
Gastroesophageal-
reflux disorder. Yeah, it's just when the stomach acid comes back up, but it makes me lose my voice. So I'm like, I can't very well
Can't have
sing.
that.
I guess it's either plain old GERD, which is like that's not really helping me with anything because I
At
know I
all.
have that, or it's this type of esophagitis that's caused by food allergies. So I'm like, okay, if I do an elimination diet for a few months,
It should heal.
And like, but I'm still having some. I've been doing it since Coachella, so not that long. But I was like kind of doing it before Coachella, and then at Coachella, I was like, I can't keep this up here. Like, I'm
sure
not. There's nothing
drinking
I can
doesn't
fucking eat.
make it better.
Yeah,
either.
and like it's just not happening. So I'm not drinking.
Right.
I'm not.
Slay.
Yeah, but I also do like I've drank maybe like 4 times this whole year. Like I like
That's
just have
good.
not been into.
That's legit
it, like-
sober.
No, at this point, it's
Yeah.
like join the club.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's like I just don't like it
It's-
anymore.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
and
like
it's-
it.
it's-
Yeah. So it like just everything is bad in here right now.
I think it's all going to be worth it. Like once the
I hope that it was worth it.
I hope that it was worth it having
Jocelyn,
GERD.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm sorry. I think if you just stick with it and like really try your best with the elimination, like, because I know like avoiding with my esophagus thing, like the farther I went in with literally, I just ate like chicken noodle soup for like 3 weeks and
Yeah.
it like actually healed without me having to take like the omeprazoles of the world. But
it really actually did
Just
heal
do-
after that.
I mean, it comes back when
Yeah.
I eat like spicier shit consistently, but I have to like, I need to have like months
Yeah.
of like just plain and hot sauce like is.
You love your hot sauce.
It's such a pivotal sobriety moment.
Yeah.
I love hot sauce.
Like
It
I,
is.
it's like it really just adds to things. And I have like a weird relationship with food sometimes, so it really helps me like eat all of it because it's just
Yeah, you're
so
a picky
good.
eater.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know why. Do you have one?
All baddies are. I just want to say I relate to you. I don't have GERD, but I get a lot of rashes.
That's another thing I have, rashes.
Where? And
Yeah.
what?
Usually here.
Do you get
like,
eczema?
I don't know if it's eczema. Right now I have like a little dry patch by my belly button and I feel like it might be eczema, but I get I get hives and rashes like here.
Horrible.
And then like my abdomen and back. Yeah.
Girl, have you heard of perioral dermatitis?
Yes.
on my face, ringworm on my foot, shingles on my back, eczema under my tits. Stay jealous. Anyways.
I'm so jealous.
No, because you're all jealous of me and I can tell. But my off my chest is LMAO. Last episode, I like never date, especially in LA. Because why would I? But I had a date.
You went on it?
Oh, don't worry.
Don't
even worry. I had a date planned with this guy, and like Trevi thought he was hot, and usually I'm with the gargoyles, and like she was like, he's fucking hot, and I was like,
God forbid. Tall has a job.
Tall has a job.
And I was like, okay, this is like gonna be fun. And tell me why I'm hanging out with my friend, and she was like, God, I really like this dude. He's been eating my ass. Like, yo. And I was like, oh my God, tell me more, like, please. And she said his name, which I'll just say his name's Brien because that's his name. And yeah. And so I was like, what the fuck is his last name? It's the guy.
Say the last name.
He's been eating her ass. How dare you? Yeah, so
What?
obviously I ghosted.
Oh, yeah.
Hell no. Because
Of
I'm like,
course.
because she was also
You
like,
think it's a buffet?
I know, because she was also like,
A
I
butt
could
finger.
tell it didn't
Thank
feel
you.
great that he like slid into my DMs, you know? She was
Right.
like, oh, and I was like, I will kill this man before I go on a date with him, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
So-
don't, yeah.
That's dating in LA for you.
It literally, everyone says
It's
it's so
incest.
small, and I'm like,
Incest.
so I'm just,
We're all
it
sisters
is.
somehow.
We are all sisters.
I
Right.
honestly, and I remember in the last episode you said, I don't think he's on Raya, but that's equivalent.
No, he's on Raya.
Yeah.
He's on something. Because I'm like,
Meth.
yeah. And it's like, go off. I'm glad she's getting her ass
Go
ate,
off
but
with the meth.
like,
Yeah,
Go off
yeah.
with the meth. Go off with the ass eating. But it's like,
Yeah.
don't you dare text me if you ate my friend's ass. Even though he doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm not
like,
trying to
still.
smooch
You're gonna
my
kiss me
friend.
with that
Yeah,
mouth after
like
eating my friend's
crazy.
ass?
Also, last episode I was talking about how it was 420 and I was gonna do a high show, which is literally
Hi.
a stand-up show where everyone's smoking weed and like nobody laughs. It's horrible, but I'm trying to get better. And so I go to the show and the girl's like, "Listen, 4 people in the crowd. Do you got any friends?" And what happened was my old situationship happened to live across the street, and he's been
Italy?
hitting me up to hang out. I went to Italy with him.
Okay.
Crazy. And so I was like, you know what? He's going to be an audience member. So I called him. I was like, you trying to see me bomb? Because I didn't think I was going to do well. And he was like, yeah, I'm on my way. And I was like, okay. He shows up to my show. I see him after like a year, and I spent the first part of my set annihilating him. Like being so insane.
Okay.
And it was like improv, and I did well, and it was the best moment of my life.
I love
Did he
that.
say you did good?
Yeah, he was like, I'm impressed. And you know what? That was crazy and hurtful.
And I
but-
deserve that. Yeah. Of course he did.
And it was amazing. And then he like tried to bump uglies with me after I said no. Yeah, so that was just a beautiful moment.
I love that, Kate.
We all need an audience member.
I
That's a
love that.
situationship.
And also, like, there's no creature more grateful than a man who you go and embarrass on a public stage. Like, when I write songs that are, like, mean about a man, they're always like, wow, like, this is so, like, they're
I know, I'm
always
like, why do they love it?
they love it. I'm,
And
like,
which
so
just makes me
confused.
mad.
Like, I'm literally calling
It's because the mother thing.
yeah.
It's the mother thing.
degradation kink. And also, they just like to be talked about. They like
I
to feel
know,
important.
they
So, like, there you go, babe.
They're drama queens more than
Drama.
anything.
Queens.
They are.
Okay. Time to get real and time to close
Whoa.
the deal.
I'm scared.
And I'm sure you both have been made aware about this, but and I don't even know if I'm generally upset about this. I think I'm upset that the option isn't there anymore. I only go out in one place in LA, okay?
Come on,
It's in
T.
Silver Lake. And I know you go there. I know you go there. You guys met there.
It's beautiful.
And it's a place of a good mix of indoor and outdoor and even sober and non-sober and straights and gays. And it's a nice place, and a lot of my friends DJ there. It's a great time a lot of the times I'm there. It is now, as of this moment, closed permanently.
What? I didn't know
Do
that.
you not know about that?
No.
Well,
What are we gonna
Or
do?
until further
permanently until
notice.
further notice. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't really know the details of how that happened. I just want to say, if that is the last time it was open, was the last time I was there, I'll say I had a good run. But hey, I think it was like my first place and like where I was like able to feel like hot and like loved and like
Good music.
embraced with good music in like this era of my life. Like I think if that's done, like a chapter is closed, we'll find something else.
Yeah.
We won't go to the bungalow. I know that
No.
for a
Girl,
fact.
no.
So
Trevi has a boyfriend.
no, not yet.
Trevi has a boyfriend.
But
What can you disclose? Nothing.
literally nothing. And
Can you disclose that I interrogated him?
you did.
Oh my God, Deb.
Olivia. Yeah, no, I can't disclose that. Olivia interrogated my friend.
Lover.
Right. And
Friend, lover.
I told him actually that you were coming on today. I was like, oh, my friend that like interrogated you at Coachella. And he's like, oh, good.
He was like, I'm terrified.
I walked up to Trevi and I don't look at the man at all. And I just
Good.
say, who's this? Or I was like, who's the, I said
no,
something
you go,
derogatory.
no, you said, is this your man? And then I go, and I'm like, and then you go, is this your man, Trevi?
God.
And then I'm like, again, I'm like, I'm gonna put her in a dungeon. And then you go, so how should I refer to this person?
I love that.
Does he have a name?
Literally as if he's not there.
She goes, does he have a name? And I'm like,
No.
mind you, this is like day 2 of like intensely hanging out with this
I
person.
treat
And I'm
men like fucking animals.
But
I
you
treat
know
animals
what?
like
Gotta prove
men.
themselves.
you
to
showed it was important to me. I thought about it later down the line because I was never obviously like you live your life, but like it shows that people care about me and want to protect
Yeah,
me, and I
bitch.
really love that you did that. You
I
weren't
love you
just
so
like
much.
yeah, I love you too. I know you do the same, Kate. And at one point we're gonna maybe try to let me deserve the love, or let me get the love that I deserve.
Period.
Guys, we are going to get into the unnamed segment where we answer your questions and advice inquiries sent into our Instagram at 6 feet above pod. So make sure you're following us over there to know the next time that we post for questions. I am going to start with the first one. Okay, so someone asked for you. They said, Olivia, what's next? What's next with the music?
I'm making an album,
Full length.
full-length album, and it's conceptual, actual full conceptual album randomly. I was so afraid of albums for so long. My last album was 2019. Was it even real? Haven't done a full length since.
Love that album.
And I'm almost done. And yeah, it's awesome. And it's not what people are going to expect at all.
Death metal.
Yes.
That's so you.
And a little bit of rap.
Love. You should release it September 30th. It's my birthday.
Okay, I'll do that just for you.
Thank you.
Next one is, how do I stop giving a fuck about what people think? I feel I'm not slaying to my fullest potential.
Work.
That's the number one thing I think I've struggled with throughout my life is I have always put the judgment of others before my own judgment. And I've always looked at other people and been like, that person's really cool. Like, and the people that I think are cool are always people that are doing something that's kind of different than everyone else. And yet, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was fit in, and I always felt like I was the odd one out. And so I thought that everything that made me weird, everyone would make fun of me for it. So I thought like, oh, that's weird. But then as I got older, every time I would see someone that was like a little different, I would think they were cool.
Yeah.
So why can't I trust my judgment that people who are a little weird are cool?
And it's all about trusting yourself. Like
and
finding that like moment.
why can't I feel that way about myself? That's what I've been tapping into lately. Like, I cannot. And if you feel like you're different or like you're not slaying to your fullest potential, you just have to look inward and be like, who am I? What do I want to do? And be your truest self, because the more you try to like hide who you are or be embarrassed of who you are
Blend
or
in.
worry about what other people think about you, you're just, baby, you're not born to blend in. You're born to stand out.
Talk about it.
Gaga.
Yeah.
So.
I found that everything that people said was like bad about me or weird about me is the reason I'm successful today.
Word.
Come on now.
Come on
Booyah.
now.
Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Like my ex-boyfriends being like, an ex-boyfriend that was like, you'd have so much more sex appeal if you were like less weird and like cracked less jokes. I'm cracking them on stage now.
Yep. And on this podcast every single week.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, everyone made fun of me for making music, and now I'm like, bitch,
Yeah.
I'm here.
And imagine if you listened to them.
And everyone told me
No,
told me
right.
that I acted like a girl when I was a kid, and then I became one, and then they started calling me a man. I go, what the switch up?
It's
for?
like, where's the
What's the switch up
up
for? No, get fucking real, because I actually listened to your advice, you face.
Stand on business
and
with
I
your
and I
insults.
slayed it. I
you
think
did.
honestly, on a serious note, it was coming to an acceptance of like I'm always gonna care about what people think because I love a nice constructive criticism, but I think differentiating when people are like deflecting or pushing their own ideas and agendas onto you rather than being like, hey, I think maybe if you did this a certain way instead of that way, like people that are actually like giving constructive criticism. I used to even take any criticism as hate. And I think growing up is realizing that there is a difference between people who are actually just straight up lashing out about like their own internal shit versus like people who actually might give a fuck about you and want you to succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
And filtering that out in your brain is difficult. But like at the end of the day, like to answer your question, like I don't know if there's ever a point with everyone. I'm sure some people where like you stop giving a fuck about what everyone thinks. I think it's just accepting and like trusting yourself, and that's what's gonna help you slay to the fullest potential. It's
Yeah.
trusting yourself and being able to let it flow through you rather than like hold on to things that other people say about you, because it's just another fucking person in the world.
And my biggest thing also was like, I did the same thing, taking everything as as hate versus criticism. You have to look at where is this criticism, this critique, this hate, where is it coming from? Who is it coming from? What is their, do they care about me? Like
Right.
pick whose opinions matter to you. Like if my friends, my close friends who I know I love and care about me, if they come to me and they're like, hey, like this isn't cool or this is bad or this, I'm going to listen to them.
Yeah.
If some random says, your music is bad and you're ugly, and they have 0 followers, there's no merit there. What are
Right.
your
You don't want what
credentials?
they have.
Yeah.
So why would you take advice from them?
pick and choose whose opinions matter to you and are valid and are constructive criticism, and who cares?
Okay, so I like this question, and we can all answer it in our own version, but it was specifically targeted at you, I believe. But I have a way that I want to answer it, and I'm sure you'll figure out a way to tie it in with like comedy. How does being in the spotlight in social media space, as well as artistry, also affect like the artistry?
It's tough because I was actually just talking about this with my manager the other day, because my like biggest viral moments have been things to do with like me writing a song about Logan Paul and like just things that don't really represent who I am as a person, or like I hate
Or
you, I
as an
love
artist,
you.
yeah.
Like I know that it was a song, but it was still like super viral on like Musically at the time, and like all these, it has all these random moments. And my song, my cover of Complicated was in the movie After, and like I've had all these moments that don't necessarily represent my artistry. So only like people who actively search me out and are fans of my music know about the music, and a lot of other people see me as like an influencer person. Like a lot of people are under the impression that I was an influencer first because of kind of who I'm friends with, and that I just like started making music at some point. But like I was literally 1,000 followers
SoundCloud
plucked out of
yeah.
Napa and had a hit song. Like I was music first, always.
Yeah.
And also for a long time I didn't know what like my direction as an artist. So I was doing, and during COVID I was doing so many TikToks, and I kind of got a following on TikTok and did that whole
Yeah.
thing. And so then a lot of people, like the last time they've seen me, last time I was viral was like when I was blonde and doing the little Jocelyn dance. Like that so does not represent my artistry at
Right.
all. But yet, like if you go and check in on me, like you can see what I've been doing kind of. Like I haven't been posting my new music, but it's really weird. It's really weird, and it really makes you think about your self-identity, how people think of you, how you're portraying yourself,
Yeah.
if you're doing it correctly, if you're doing it wrong, if you should be more mysterious, if you should hide more, if you should share more. And then like I don't know, I still want to be able to like have like brand relationships and things like that, but I want to do it in a tasteful way. And it's
Rather
like,
than an
yeah,
influencer.
and it's like, how do I make people care about me again? Make an album.
Exactly. I think even like there's so many different things, like your not little examples, but your examples that like for me it's like every fucking month we're the sexy and I know a video goes viral.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not even a representation of me as an artist. It's not even a representation of me. So it's like all these people have to come and like discover this whole new version, and then it's like half of them are like, this is fucking weird. And then, you know, down to the Apple Store shit. But for me, like it was also always about the music. Like the music was interpreted into my social media presence from the very beginning, whether it was dancing or whether it was like singing. I remember I used to like spoofs of like popular songs, and I was like 13 on like GarageBand, and like I always just leaned into what was working for me. And then obviously I like did the whole O2L thing and then fully went balls to the wall on YouTube and then made music down the line. But I think right now it's like finding that tasteful blend, just like you said, of like, because I haven't even started my rollout of anything yet, but I think there's a way to incorporate like what we even talk about on this podcast into music. Like, I think everything that we've talked about on this podcast has been turned into a song. God forbid. But it's gonna be exciting, and I think we have like opposite, like, kind of angles,
Yeah.
which is nice.
But also, I think the thing that works for both of us is like people connect with us spilling our guts out and talking about things we struggled through, and just we're really honest and vulnerable online.
Yeah.
I was talking about it last episode. The following's petite, so I'm trying to enlarge.
Girl, you're
her.
literally slaying. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, girl,
Girl,
thank you.
literally,
But no.
like, when I met you, you had like a half a
Negative
follower.
5.
No, and you grew that like
was you.
by hustling.
No, yeah, I mean, I just literally post reels every day. And
Like, here we are.
And here we're doing.
Sold
and here we're
out.
doing. What am I
And
saying?
we're going to Glendale.
We're
And
going.
we're going to Glendale, bitch.
Go to Glendale.
Yeah, no, it's for me, I'm like not strategic right now. I'm really just like posting anything because my brand is showing up, doing my best.
But that's what the people need.
I guess that's
honesty.
Posting is a strategy. Also.
No, it is.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like,
It
here
is.
you go.
Yeah.
One of these.
Like,
is
you're
gonna
gonna
hit.
see me.
But it's. I saw
Yeah.
someone describe social media as a lottery. Did you see
I saw that too.
video?
Yeah.
Of course.
True.
Girl, we have the same FYP, but it's like so true, and it's like when I'm like scared of flopping or anything like that, it's like I'm actually just like lessening my odds of like a sleigh.
Yeah.
That's why posting is great. I don't give a about flopping anymore.
I
Do you
know.
want to? What do you take for that? What pill?
It's just being insane.
How do? What do you boo?
It's just
Oh,
not. It's not
damn
talking
it.
to men because then I don't care and then I just post whatever I
Well,
want.
I'm grateful. All right, ladies. Gratitude. I'm grateful you're here today with us,
I'm
Olivia.
grateful that
Thank
you let me into this
Of
room.
course. Thank you for goiging with us.
Goig.
I feel like I learned a lot about you. Some things that I maybe didn't know.
Wow.
Like you
Look
wrote
at
that
us.
song on your own and then presented it to the world. That is a gag.
Insane.
I'm grateful that I'm in a freshly washed tie and a kitten heel, and I feel unstoppable, and I'm excited to go out after this.
Yes.
And that's all I got. What about you? What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for you two for having me and for also coming out with me later. And I am grateful that my mental health is in a much better place than it has been in a ever.
Going up to people's moms and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
hot.
crazy. Yeah. So that's what I'm grateful for.
we love
Oh,
you.
yeah. I'm so grateful that I have a comedy show I'm producing on Sunday. It's monthly, so if you didn't make it to this one, go to the next one. Grateful for this shirt. It's itchy, but like I'm into it, and I hope the fur isn't in the air. But I don't know. I'm just grateful to be here, and I love a feminine space like this.
We love you so much, and we will see you next week.
Love ya.
Love you.